Okay, so welcome back. Besides the frequent pattern mining problem we mentioned before, another important problem which are studying data mining by database people actually is to finding some similar patterns. So many data mining problems can be expressed or can be defined as finding similar patterns. We provide with some examples. Now we want to find some web pages containing similar words, and we can classify them by the topics, right? If given many web pages that contain similar words, they may belong to the same topic, right? And based on the similarities among the web pages, we can classify the pages into different topics. Also, for Netflix users with similar tastes of the movies or preference of movies, and we can also use this information as a signal for recommending them with some potential movies they will be interested in, right? And we can use these similarities among the users in their movie preference as a signal for building the recommender systems. And similar for images. So given two images, if they contain similar objects, and they will have many of the similarities with each other in the pixels or in the content. So many of the problems can be expressed, can be defined as finding similar patterns given the input data. Okay, so when we're finding similar patterns, we have different methods can be used, right? It really depends on how we plan to find similar patterns and how similar we want to find them, right? And the basic technique depends on whether you are looking for items that are either somewhat similar or very similar to each other. If we are looking for some patterns which are somewhat similar, then we can use some techniques with the shingling together with the min hashing, right? Or if we want to find some patterns which are very similar, then we can use some algorithm with locality sensitive hashing instead, right? And we will discuss what does this mean, for these two terms or these techniques. And before we introduce the methods, we provide you with an example instead here in this page. Let's say we want to define a problem for finding or for comparing documents. In other words, the target is to find some documents containing common text, not a common topic actually. Of course, we may have some special cases. For example, we can have some documents that contain the identical contents, or one document contains the character by character in another actually. So here we will be focused on studying the general cases. We may have many small pieces of one document appear out to the order in another actually. And this problem can have a very broad applications in the real world. For example, in the real world, we may have some mirror sites, right, for websites. Normally, if we create websites, we may mirror the site with multiple copies or multiple servers. And they contain exactly the same contents. However, when we are doing a search with the search engines, normally we don't want to show the same content multiple times, right? Because they may contain the same contents actually. And we don't want to show them in both in the search. Another example is that we may have some plagiarism for contents in the web, right? So for example, one page may contain the quotation or large quotation of the contents from another page. So by comparing the documents, we may find such plagiarisms. Also, we can contain or compare the documents of the news articles, for example, right, at different sites. So for example, for the news contents, we may have different writers may write news article in different ways. However, they are about the same content or same story. So by comparing the web pages, we can class the document. We can class the news articles by the same story or the same contents actually. So with this method or with this problem. So this is the potential applications of the comparing or finding similar patterns in the documents in the real world. And based on this problem, we'll provide you with an introduction for some of the techniques we can use for comparing or for finding the similar patterns in the input data.